What do you know about periods?
Well, I know a period is basically when the egg in a woman's ovaries bit is discarded at the end of the month. I know it's stupid, but...
Periods happen during a woman's reproductive years, and what happens is there's various hormones that come into play, and they interact with each other over a monthly cycle. The period happens at the end of this process. So what happens is the body gets ready for a baby. So an egg is released into the uterus or the womb, and the body gets ready for that egg to be fertilised. So the womb lining thickens, so it's all nice and soft and spongy, ready for the egg to implant. If the egg isn't fertilised, then what happens is, again, the hormones cause the egg to die and the lining is shed. And it's the shedding of the lining that is called the period.
Did you ever have a conversation with your mum about periods?
No, I mainly went to my sister about periods.
It actually didn't happen until after I started my period, because I was only 10 when I started, so she hadn't had the conversation with me.
My mum was in disbelief when I started my period at the age I did. I think my sister was too, but...
For most women, it's usually between the ages of about 10 to 16. It does vary, and there is a wide variety of normal.
I don't really remember a specific conversation, but I remember seeing blood in the toilet.
Why do you think that so few men know what periods are?
I think it's kind of the combination of it being a choice. So some of them don't actually want to get to know what a period is, and some genuinely aren't taught.
Went to a Catholic school. It wasn't something that they really talked about. I can't really remember a conversation about it. I can remember the girls being taken off and we had an extra break, like 15-20 minutes, where all the girls went into the gym and spoke about it, but we weren't a party to any of that.
It's almost unspoken of, and I thought back to my day and it's no different. I'd have thought, you know, with 30 years or so difference, that things will have changed. But she says even now people get embarrassed, they don't like to talk about it.
But no, that's a lie, because our biology teacher were quite forward thinking. So she did talk about it
which she shouldn't have done.
No, she shouldn't have done.
Either actually torn out of the books, which is scary, isn't it, when you think about it, really, isn't it?
Because it's not that long ago. I suppose it is that long ago, isn't it?
Well,
it's about 40 years ago.
So how does PMS feel?
How does PMS feel? Sometimes it's painful, but in most cases it's more something to do with hormones and how your whole body in general reacts to it.
Many women do experience this, and they do talk about it as though it's a real thing, and the symptoms they describe are feeling irritable, they have breast tenderness, they may feel very tired, they may feel low.
Damien used to avoid me because I actually got very grumpy, didn't I?
Yeah.
And you always knew when I was due to come on, didn't you?
We used to have it on the calendar. You used to MDO, me due on. And so you go and have a look, because you know the week before
that I would be very, very bad.
So it's not just your physical, let's say, physical pain, it's also like experiencing some mental problems. I mean...
I would nearly getting for murdering you, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, you could see the look in her eye.
Yeah.
She would follow you around looking for an excuse to have a go.
Yeah.
But then as soon as she'd come on...
Oh, fine. As soon as I'd come on, I was fine.
Hug and kiss me and cuddle me.
Yeah.
Like Jacqueline Hyde.
I was making dinner and I think my dad came in and I can't remember what he did, but it pissed me off. And I remember telling him, get out of the kitchen now, just leave. And when he left, I cried because I shouted at my dad, and then he came back in again. I was like, why are you back in here? Get out. And then, it was a bit of a mess.
But I have friends who are for instance, if you have a combination with being anemic, they end up not going out of the house for 3 or 4 days, they just end up losing a lot of blood.
Anemia is where your red cell count is low, or rather your haemoglobin. And the effects of that for women is that they become tired very easily, they may feel a bit faint, may feel dizzy. If that happens and it's not normal for that person, then I would see their GP and get their iron levels checked. And it can be treated either by diet or by taking iron tablets. But it tends to affect women who have very heavy periods over a long period of time because the body does compensate for most women.
The actual doctor gave me a mild form of antidepressant. It was a new thing that they were trialling, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I want that, but they said, please do take it. It really does affect your mood swings, and it's been really good, hasn't it?
It's been better.
Been better.
No, it has.
There are all sorts of theories about PMS and debate about whether it exists or not. If you talk to a woman who has it, yes, it does exist. But the theories relate to, is it due to a hormone imbalance, which for a very few women that could be the case. But also there's this pressure on women to carry on as normal right throughout the whole month. So even when they're having their period, it's almost expected to be hidden. In some cultures, PMS doesn't exist. And this seems to be cultures where menstruation is seen as a normal part of life, and women are encouraged to rest and to look after themselves and look after the diet.
How would you want a man to act when you're on PMS?
How do I want a man to act?
Yeah, like, do you want him to be like very like helpful, or just want him to stay out of the way?
Just like, if I need him, like if it's a really tough situation, if I need his presence for him to like be there, that would be nice. But I don't need like somebody to hold me like, 24/7.
Probably be a bit more careful about things I say, and I'm a little more attentive probably. I might ask her if she wants anything specific to eat, anything she's craving.
How do you think we can remove the stigma associated with periods?
From a young age, like talking about it, basically explaining what it is, what happens during it, making sure that boys are aware that they do happen each month.
Also, what's your opinion on men who think that periods are choices?
Male sort of online, we sort of found some surveying men saying, oh, periods are a choice, and men compare periods to them grazing their knee or them giving blood.
Menstruation is a physiological process. The only way you could stop it is by artificial means, either by having your uterus removed or womb removed, or by taking medication which could have a huge effect on your body, taking medication. So that's a bit like saying breathing is a choice, because you have to breathe, don't you?